Last night on MasterChef Australia,
Lamington versus Lamington, scone versus scone.
two teams cooked for the Country Women's Association.
This is the biggest disaster of a team challenge I've ever been in.
And while the red team won reward,
Time to go and enjoy that beautiful lunch at Tony Bilson's.
the blue team was not so lucky.
If I go home, there's no way in the world I'm getting a third chance.
Tonight, Jimmy and Aaron face off in an elimination challenge.
Your job today is to fix that dish.
To survive, they'll have to put their skill and culinary knowledge to the test.
I think they're grasping at straws.
And in 8 quick steps, turn a disaster into a masterpiece.
I'm not feeling confident at all.
Aaron and Jimmy, your 2 dishes were deemed the least impressive. I don't think either of you are probably surprised that you find yourself here.
CWA challenge, I didn't earn my place. My dishes were terrible. If anyone has to face elimination, I want it to be me. I don't deserve to continue on in this competition without facing an elimination today.
The judges basically told me that my jam wasn't good enough. I just got back into this contest and I got a 50% chance of going home in a couple of hours.
Aaron and Jimmy, you're our bottom 2 and go upstairs.
Jimmy and I head upstairs and basically wait for what's to come. To come this far and to go now, I mean, it's heartbreaking. Cooking's always been inside of me and it's been a real passion. After my father had a heart attack, he told me to follow my dreams, and if I wanted to try and do things, do them now while I still had the time to do them.
When I got eliminated, I started making my own range of Indian simmer sauces and curry sauces. I'm back in the MasterChef competition. Even though I've got a 50% chance of going home, I'm absolutely determined to get through this.
One of us is going to have the heart, the strength, the knowledge and the passion to go through.
Yeah.
And the other one is going to push as hard as they can, but just not quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
The red team have just won the challenge and we're heading off to reward lunch at Bilson's and a private masterclass with Tony Bilson himself. And I am over the moon.
Hi guys. Hi. Today we're going to do some things from the book.
Tony Bilson has opened a restaurant specially for us today. Boy, do we feel privileged.
Sure, you have a great lunch. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, see you soon.
Tony's food is really like artwork. It's beautiful from the minute you see it. The first course is very much in a French style with a Beurre Blanc sauce and a fish mousse.
Oh, wow.
Wow. But then the second course, even though it's a beef tartare with squid ink mayonnaise, looks very Japanese in its presentation.
That was awesome.
My favourite dish that Tony brings out is probably the dessert. 18 textures of chocolate on this plate. This is exactly my kind of food.
Well, I'm going to show you how to do the whiting quenelles today.
In the masterclass, Tony decides to show us the first course we had today, which is little quenelles of whiting with a Blanc sauce.
Chop that up.
To be standing in Bilson's kitchen and to have him showing how to cook a dish there, it's awesome. So you're poaching them more or less?
Yes, we're poaching them, yep.
That looks amazing.
Yeah?
So smooth, like the mousse just disappears in your mouth. We've finished our reward lunch, and now it's time to head back to the house and see what's happened with the elimination in the blue team.
When Jimmy and I come down the stairs, the kitchen's changed. It's been set up with cooktops. We're going to be cooking.
Jimmy, Aaron, got a 50-50 chance. of staying in this competition. You've got to bring every bit of that cook out to play right now. Gentlemen, it's time to find out what challenge you're about to face.
I look over my shoulder and I see George coming out with this big red pot. I have absolutely no idea what's in there.
In this pot is the dish that will decide your future in this kitchen.
I think I've seen this one before. It seems like this has fixed that dish.
Let's take a look at what's in that pot.
This is definitely my last chance in this competition. I've got to win this challenge.
Lid comes off and I see this dark red soupy mix with these kind of chunks of marinated chicken floating in it. I got no idea what this is.
Some sort of red wine. I have no idea.
You're looking at a classic French bistro dish called coq au vin.
The judges tell us that it's coq au vin. I've never ordered it, I've never eaten it, I have absolutely no idea what's in it.
This coq au vin is bad. It's watery, it's tasteless, it's insipid, and your job today is to fix that dish.
It shouldn't be fix this dish, it should be, you know, teach Aaron how to make this dish, go away, then fix it the next day, because I got no idea what's going on here at all.
Gentlemen, this is how it's going to work. You're going to each come up and grab one portion of this seriously flawed coq au vin. You then have 8 turns each to turn it from bad to the best you possibly can. And these are the ingredients that you can use. Vegetables, fruit, and mushrooms. You also have some proteins that you can use to fix that coq au vin.
You've got some liquids and oils, herbs and spices, some garlic, some ginger, and chilli. And some miscellaneous pantry items like butter, sugar, and salt. So think French ingredients. You can only add one ingredient per step. And once you've used an ingredient, you can't use it again.
You have to give us your best version. You've got to do what you can to make that dish better than it is right now.
Right, boys, it's time to take your pots to your stations and fix that dish.
Jimmy, you're going to go first. This could be your last chance to secure a place in this competition. Off you go.
The first step is I want to make sure that there's shallots in this dish. Now, I've seen pictures of this dish in the past, so I'm going to start chopping up some shallots, frying them into stock from the original dish, just to build that first building block of this coq au vin.
What the dish is actually missing is a richness. The reason why I've chopped up some of the shallots is because I want to get that rich sauce, but the shallots as a whole will provide sweetness.
Aaron, are you ready for your first turn?
I am, Gary. My first choice is a bucket load of garlic. I'm just going to try and create some intense flavours.
The word French, the word garlic, the two things go pretty well together. Like Jimmy, I'm trying to create a depth of flavour here and just take it step by step, trying to get this sauce how I think it should be.
Okay. Jimmy, are you ready for your second step?
Yes, I am.
Go.
The second step is going to add some grated celery.
Interesting.
I'm going to start frying it off with the onions and then deglaze it with a little bit of that stock just to make sure I'm getting that similar flavour profile.
I've gone celery, even though there's celery in it, I still don't think that the sauce is rich enough.
Grating celery for his second turn.
Never seen it before, George. Really quite weird.
Aaron, your second turn starts now.
I walk up to the table, I want to add some herbs, and I actually grab the thyme first, and I'm thinking thyme's got to be in this dish, but maybe rosemary's in this dish. So, right or wrong, my choice is rosemary.
Would you put rosemary in this dish?
No.
Nor would I.
No, I'd put thyme in it. If anything, I'd put thyme.
Jimmy, Turn 3 for you.
The third step is garlic. I don't want to add raw garlic to the finished product. So what I do is I grate the garlic into the oil and infuse the oil so that tastes like garlic. I then spoon the oil into the sauce.
Aaron?
My next step is to choose shallots and basically start caramelising them in the pan. The other thing that I do is I want to get the fat off the top of this stock because it's really affecting how I can taste it. But instead of skimming it off bit by bit, I just soak up some of the fat and take it off.
Jimmy, you ready for your 4th turn?
Come on, Jimmy. Fire up, man.
4th step, I pick pancetta.
Just needs, I guess, a smoky flavour to it, so I decided to go with the pancetta.
It's very French, pancetta.
Not really.
Nope. Aaron, your 4th turn starts now.
We're halfway through and it's my choice. I choose the Swiss brown mushrooms. I cut up the mushrooms, I saute them in the pan.
I'm going off flavours that I would have in my head for how this dish should be. You know, this dish is very provincial country to me. This is, you know, big pot, oven, stuff like that. Yep. I'm just going to pan fry them, not too many of them, just add them to what I'm cooking and hopefully get it going.
Gary, for me at this point, I reckon they're quite head-to-head.
Yeah.
Jimmy has picked some interesting ingredients on his last turn.
Everything's getting, finely chopped or grated, so it's quite an interesting technique that he's applying. Aaron's just picked some mushrooms, and I thought he was just going to clip the stalks off them and then saute them and then put them in with the chicken. But he's sliced them, he's fried them off, and again, it's just looking all a bit mushy to me.
They're really chopping up everything quite fine, and I think they're going to lose a lot of that flavour.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to put on the plate.
You know what, George? I think they're grasping at straws.
Jimmy and I both have 8 steps to fix a bad coq au vin. Whoever doesn't do it goes home tonight.
For the 5th step, I decide to use red wine vinegar. Because the dish has a lot of fat in it, the vinegar should cut through some of that fat.
I'm going to reduce it first, see what it tastes like, add it in spoon by spoon, see if I get that rich flavour that's already in there, but also give it just a little kick of vinegar.
Aaron, step number 5, use it wisely.
My next choice is thyme. I strip it all off, get it into the pot, get it cooking, and then just keep on taking off the little layers of fat that are there. I don't want to serve the judges a fatty sauce.
Jimmy, you only have 3 steps left to go.
For the 6th step, I decide to use some thyme.
I'm a little bit behind Aaron on this one. All I'm really doing is trying to build the richness of the stock now. It just needs some herbs in there, some dried herbs. It's just tweaking it now. I think I'm happy with the flavour.
Aaron?
I choose red wine vinegar next.
I picked red wine vinegar like Jimmy. A little bit of acidity in the dish I think is important.
Can I ask a question to the two of you? You two copying each other or...?
I don't think so. I think I've picked quite a few different ingredients than Jimmy has. I've approached it a different way. I'm trying to approach it like a kind of country cook would.
OK, fair enough.
For the 7th step, I decide to use parsley. I actually want to get some of the parsley flavour into the new stock.
Wouldn't the fresh parsley go in last step?
Possibly. Don't want to reveal my last ingredient.
Aaron, what are you doing?
I'm going to whisk in some butter just to thicken it up a little bit.
My sauce tastes really great. It's really strong, but I don't have much sauce left here at this point. Coq au vin has got to have more than what I've got.
You think you're doing that at the right time?
Get a sauce tasting good, add some butter. I mean, when I'm in France, I eat lots of butter. May as well do it with this dish. I don't know if it's correct, but we'll see.
I'm wondering whether or not Aaron adding the butter is going to be the one ingredient that differentiates these 2 dishes. Your next step is absolutely crucial. Whatever you do dictates your future here in the MasterChef Kitchen. Jimmy, your last step. Now, let's go.
Go, Jimmy, come on.
The last step, I race for the brandy.
I'm actually taking a risk with this, to be honest. The dish I'm quite happy with at the moment. I just think it needs that...
Why would you take a risk on your very last turn?
Because I believe that the only thing missing is just a slight sweetness from a fortified wine.
I'm not sure if it's in the original recipe, but if I'm going out with a bit of style.
Aaron, you ready for your last step?
I've got one more chance here. I've got one more step. I'm going to choose parsley as the last ingredient.
Good luck, man. Good luck. Thank you.
Number one, because it's got a great flavour that I think will round off the sauce. And number two, I think a little sprinkle of parsley with some beautiful mushrooms on top of some well-presented chicken and a velvety, rich, shiny sauce over the top. I think that that's going to impress the judges.
Jimmy, Aaron, you've just done your very best to turn an insipid coq au vin into something that George and I are going to love. Your future in this competition depends on how good that dish is.
Before we taste, guys, can you please come downstairs and say goodbye to your fellow competitors?
We come downstairs and we have to say goodbye, and we know that one of these people is not going to be coming home.
Tastes good. Yeah, it does, mate. Who knows?
Hey, good luck, buddy. Guys, please bring your dishes forward to the tasting table. There's definitely two different dishes from a visual point of view. I guess at the end of the day, it comes down to the taste. Jimmy, let's taste.
As the judges are tasting my dish, I don't see any smiles on their faces, and at this point, I'm not feeling confident at all.
Aaron?
I have no regrets. I did my best. I tried to make a coq au vin, but you know what? I made some mistakes.
Well, gentlemen, it's nearly crunch time. We've tasted both coq au vins, and now it's time for George and I to go and deliberate and make our decision. We've tasted your dishes, and we've decided who has earned the right to continue on in their MasterChef journey. Jimmy, loved the sweet shallots in your sauce. Plenty of sauce as well, which is what it's all about. This is a classic French bistro dish. But the presentation, my friend, wasn't that good. If you're going to go on in this competition, you need to give it more thought. Aaron, love the addition of mushrooms in that sauce. There are mushrooms in a classic coq au vin. You didn't get it quite right, but it added a nice, subtle, mushroomy flavour. It was a good red wine sauce, but honestly, there was not enough of it. Missed the mark there. Gentlemen, it's time for us to reveal our decision. For two people that have never cooked coq au vin before, it was a good effort. Not quite right, but you know what? The flavours were true. And in essence, it was a chicken braised in red wine, lots of button mushrooms.
And of course, that fresh parsley right at the end.
And you gave us that.
It was a really difficult one, but we have made a decision. Jimmy, congratulations. I liked your dish the best. It was beautiful, it was rich, it had lots of red wine, lots of sauce. Shallots were absolutely fantastic. Well done.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Good on you, mate.
Congratulations.
Aaron, sorry, man.
That's okay.
For me, your dish just wasn't as good as Jimmy's. Sorry, mate.
Jimmy, sigh of relief. You cooked the best dish for George. Well done. Aaron, all I can say is that you cooked the best dish for me. I loved your dish. The presentation was bang on. If I was to pick a dish, yours is the one that I would eat. Why? 3 beautiful pieces of chicken, all those mushrooms, a bit stingy on the sauce, but I'd ask for more.
So what does that mean?
So what do? We've got a hung vote. George likes Jimmy's dish, and I like Aaron's dish. This is an elimination. We said from the outset that one of you was to go home. After today's challenge, with the effort that you put in, with the gusto that you displayed, I think there's only one thing we can do. Jimmy, Aaron, we can't send either of you home. You're both safe.
That's perfect.
Oh, man.
Oh,
thank God.
We're both safe in the competition. This is the best outcome possible.
We have an argument.
Oh, that's good. Thanks, George. I appreciate it. I can't believe it was a tie. This is just so cool. And I feel like I've got a second chance in this competition.
Jimmy, Aaron, you both leave here as survivors. All you got to do now is keep that ability to turn it around and make it happen again tomorrow and the next day.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barry.
We're all waiting at home to find out who's been eliminated, and I think this is always the worst part of the week.
I really don't know how Aaron's going to do in a Fix That Dish challenge. I'm really worried for him.
It's Jimmy.
Jimmy steps out of the lift. Oh no, Aaron's been eliminated. Jimmy's one of the contestants that's just been brought back. And being knocked out by an ex-contestant, that can't be too good.
It was hard for Aaron, you know? I mean, to be honest with you, I can't believe that Aaron would get out on a dish like this, you know? Like, it's something that he should know.
I'm going out in a dish like that.
There's been no elimination, which means that we're still the top 10. It's difficult not knowing that you're moving forward in this competition, but it's great that no one at home today.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
Now you can sit back, relax and watch George and I cook.
It's time to learn how to cook like a pro with MasterClass. First up on the menu, how to cook the perfect risotto.
No excuses now then, Jonathan. Hey.
Next up, George shows you how to start the day with an adults-only Eggs Benedict.
The best ham and eggs I've ever had.
And Gary finishes up with a classic French dessert.
It's an oldie, but it's a goodie.
It's an oldie, but a goodie. It's beautiful.
Plus, we join award-winning chocolatier, Jan ter Hurd.
I can't imagine a world without chocolate.
And learn the tricks of making the best chocolates.
Every chocoholic's dream.